What's going on, family? What's going on, family? What's going on, family? We just trying to make it through this insanity. You know what I'm saying? And you just trying to stay on the positive side of humanity. That's all we trying to do. You know what I mean? So that's the main focus, is just staying positive, finding ways to keep your energy high, vibrational, coping with the irritation. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. It's just coping with irritation. Things that just almost like insects. When insects come across the skin, things that irritate the skin. You know what I'm saying? Just the irritation. You know what I mean? Because the program, what it will do, if they can't modify your behavior with the resources and the showing off, basically just showing off, like, look what I got. Look what I got. You know what I'm saying? Look at the clothes I wear. Look how easy my life seems. You know what I'm saying? Look at these boats I be trailing. You know what I mean? Look at the motorcycles I have. Look at the cars. Look at the rims. Look at the women I have. Look at you know what I'm saying? My stable family that I have. You know what I mean? Look at this. Look at that. You know what I mean? Look at me in this, and look at me in that. My chains, and you know what I'm saying? Look, I can go to all type of different restaurants. You know what I'm saying? We can eat out every day. You know, look at this, look at that. You know what I'm saying? So if you get caught up into the look at this, look at that, and that actually affects your behavior, like, man, because it does, believe it or not, some people out there, they be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's not fair. You know what I mean? That's not fair that they have that. I should have that. I've been going through struggles and stuff. You can't think with that mindset. You can't think like, oh, you deserve that. Because you don't know what a person went through to obtain what they got, regardless if it's fabricated. You know what I'm saying? Some people earn the stuff that they got. You know what I mean? Some people be putting up an artificial front. And what do I mean by artificial front? That means that these people may be in some of these lodges somewhere, or military buddies, or agents and stuff like that, or people may be friends of, people of these lodges, and they just be like, hey, we need you to, you know what I mean, drive around in this car. Here, we're going to give you some clothes. I want you to walk around with this chick, act like this chick is your girl. You know what I'm saying? Here, you can, this house is a friend of mine's house. You can stay at this house. It's close to the Target. You know what I mean? I need you to put that on. Boom, boom, boom. I need you to synchronize. I need you to do all these different things. So sometimes it be a front. So you can't even really be mad at what people have. You might not know. It just may be, I know it's like, okay, well, how do we think that we're this important where they'll take the time out of their day to get people to dress them up like Barbies just to make you feel some type of way? I know that's a difficult thing to comprehend or grasp, but when you're a target that's not easily compromised, then they'll do these various experiments. Why? Because some people, they've done it all, I guess, and they're just bored. You know what I'm saying? And some people just get a kick off of mind control, off of psychologically bullying somebody out their purpose. You know what I'm saying? Psychologically molding people, you know what I'm saying, into what they want them to be, what type of form they want them to have. Do they want them to be a vessel of wrath? Do they want to change the direction, you know what I'm saying, to get people to chase meaningless things? Because when you in this program, it's always going to be that carrot dangling in your face. You'll always be chasing the carrot dangling in your face until you figure out that it's on a stick. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. It's like the closer we get to the door, the further the door goes away. That's what they project to us. You know what I'm saying? So when you in this program, when you see these things, you know what I mean? Them you gotta keep in mind. Them things aren't for you. Now, if it's something to embetter you, if the program is giving you opportunity to through your creativity to get some money, best believe they gonna give you breadcrumbs. You know what I'm saying? They gonna give you a piece of the banana, you know what I mean? Not the whole banana. They gonna give you breadcrumbs, you know what I'm saying? Which you probably would deserve more, but you just gotta be thankful. We in their system. You know what I'm saying? This is not fair, but a lot of things in this world is not fair. If you think about in other places of the world, they live where they control these people in these communist places and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of places that's just not fair. You know what I'm saying? And God is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, people are favored here in America. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that we're in this program. There's people that it's not in this program, but you know what I mean? They still go through spiritual warfare, but they still have nice things in life. They still have a lot of demonic leeches in their life that's holding them down, people that they have love ties with, family members, but these people are holding them down. You know what I'm saying? People have been brainwashed to a certain extent to be programmed the way they're programmed. That's why a lot of people are just easily manipulated. They don't even know it. Before the program, we didn't know it. Somehow we was being manipulated and we didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? It just goes that deep in spiritual warfare. But when your program goes overt, when the spiritual activation activates, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like you can see groups of people, you know what I'm saying, just at a competition. They all like come together in unity, you know what I'm saying, to project like the grass is greener on this side. You know what I'm saying? You're on the wrong side of the fence. Like the country Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Like when you look at Haiti looks like it's been famine. Like it's not as green, luscious, paradise. It's an island, but it's half of an island, and that half of an island looks cursed. You look at Haiti looks cursed. It's like one of the poorest countries in the world. Then right on the same island, on the other side of Haiti, Dominican Republic. Luscious, paradise, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful. Beautiful. You get what I'm saying? So that's how they want it to project to you. Like you're in this cursed area like Haiti, and we're in a Dominican Republic where it's just beautiful. You get what I'm saying? And then that's when you fall into that, that trap. A lot of people fall into that trap. You know what I'm saying? But it's like family. If you a TI, a real TI, and you're going through targeting, you know what I'm saying? And you refuse to be controlled, you know what I mean? Remotely. You know what I'm saying? However, if people get V2K, voice control, they telling you what to do, synthetic telepathy, however, you know what I'm saying? You got to stand on your morals. You got to stand on a code. You got to stand on your principles. You got to stand on certain type of ethics. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible will show you how to stand on that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people get the Bible misconstrued thinking that, Jesus is sweet. They think Christ is sweet. You know what I'm saying? No, Christ wasn't sweet. He was flipping tables. You know what I'm saying? He was speaking with authority. He wasn't speaking passively. He was speaking with authority. You know, the beating that Christ took, you know what I'm saying, was prophecy. He took those beatings for us sinners because God knew, you know what I'm saying? Christ knew that he had to be the sacrificial lamb because no human on this earth is perfect. So just like any good leader, what does a good leader do? Show you the example. You know, they don't just tell you. They actually get and show you, they get down and dirty and show you themselves. So it's like, if I can do it, you know what I'm saying? Christ saying, if I can do it, if I can feel emotion, if I could be in the human body and be a sacrificial lamb for y'all and show an example of how you should live on this earth. That's why the Christ was the only son, because the Christ was the only one that had faith. You know what I'm saying? This is spiritual here. Nobody at that time in that world had that type of faith. That's why Christ was the only son. You get what I'm saying? That's why it says when Christ comes the second time, will he find faith on the earth? You know what I mean? Because everybody who's believers of God are sons and daughters of God. You get what I mean? So basically what I'm saying is just, you know, for the Bible believers, for high vibrational people who's conscious, positive, and stuff like that, don't let them change the direction of your belief system. You know, I stand on God. I stand on Christ. But other people might stand on, you know what I'm saying, consciousness, breaking out of the spells and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You believe what you want to believe. I'm not here to judge you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, stand on your positive moral ethics and things like that. Don't let them compromise and strip that from you. You know what I'm saying? Don't be looking at what people got, because all they projecting is get with this here, get with this here, get with this here, flexing, flexing, flexing. You know, they just, you know what I'm saying? Whoa there, get with this here. You know, all that there. So it's just, all that is illusions, smoke, mirrors. You get what I'm saying? You got to evolve from that. Most likely, I know in my situation, most likely when I see all those projections, I just see it as like, you know, that's not something that I'm supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Now, being able to have a little transportation, being able to have a nice living situation, being able to have nice clothes and look good and things like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those things are accessible. All this extravagant, you know, just life is just super good. You ain't got to stress Hakuna Matata. You know, these people got that Timon and Pumbaa mentality. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing grace. It means no worries. All that there. You know what I'm saying? They want to put you in this not parasite, but paradise. You know what I'm saying? Mindset, and get you off your purpose, get you off your course. And most likely for TIs, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be in that paradise like that with Timon and Pumbaa. You know, these people just leading you to your demise. You have to realize, you know what I'm saying? These people are leading you to your demise. You have a purpose. And your purpose is not to be with Timon and Pumbaa. Be, you know, with no Timon and Pumbaa, no prairie dog and no warthog. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Hakuna Matata. You know what I mean? You know your purpose, you know, to get that dollar. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to stay the freak out the way. These people ain't trying to play. Every day they're prompted to irritate you. But for people in my situation that's evolved, that's not falling for the bait, that's not falling for the mousetrap, the cheese. You know what I'm saying? You're not falling for that. Then everything else is just gonna be irritable. You know what I'm saying? Either people gonna be pleasant with you and you're gonna feel good, or people gonna be irritable with you and you're gonna have to find ways to, like, you know, when you look at some of the National Geographic, You see some of the animals, they got used to the bugs being on their skin. Bugs be all on their skin. And they just be wagging their tail and eating their grass. The bugs don't even faze them. They got to the point where the bugs don't even faze them. The irritation doesn't even faze them. That have to be the same with us. Because it's irritating when flies fly on you and you know what I'm saying, all different type of bugs. You want to get that off of you. It irritates. That's the same thing with this program, but sometimes you got to find ways to cope with the irritation. You got to find ways to cope with the irritation. You know what I'm saying? So just like there be bugs on the animal and the animal eating the grass and it's not phasing them, that's the same way it got to be. You have to find ways to just be unfazed. You have to find ways to be unfazed. And that's how you're going to make it through this program. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a competition that you're trying to be in. It's not even a versus that you're trying to, they're forcing you in this game. It's not even like, I don't even get a kick out of being like, oh, I made it for another 24. Ha, ha, ha. You got to start over again. No, I don't even want to play them artificial games. You just really trying to make it and you thankful that God is waking you up every day. You know what I'm saying? But you just simply standing on your morals, principles, ethics. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, family. You know, dodging the insanity. You know what I mean? And just stand on the positive side of humanity. With that being said, family, peace.